One of the first questions presented to us is, what is curriculum? We thought that it was a government-mandated document that teachers must teach.
The curriculum we found out was developed also by the public. It demonstrates the values of our society and what we desire for future students to learn. The curriculum hardly changes because it seems that we are stuck in a structured system.
Students are the most affected by curriculum, yet they have the least amount of say. We find that we are stuck in our ways with curriculum because of what we view as common sense. Kumashiro defines common sense as limitations to what is considered to be consistent with the purposes of schooling, but also the ways we teach our students. Curriculum is viewed as common sense because we teach it the same time, every time, without questioning the practices.
Numeracy is also part of the curriculum, and it seems to be a daunting subject. However, we see numeracy in our everyday lives, and it can be fun. We need to make sure that we respect and identify that there is diversity among other views in numeracy.
However, math is the most unchanged curriculum. Curriculum is also literacy. It is typically viewed as reading and writing, but it is much more than that. It also includes literacies such as ecological, emotional, social, financial, visual, physical, and media.
Through this, we find that curriculum is more than just a product and the final result. It is also about the process, how you learn, why you learn it, and the overall experience. Many theorists, which tend to be old, white men, play a large role in how we view the curriculum. For example, some theorists believe that children are an empty vessel, and teachers have all the knowledge that needs to be transferred to the students.
It has been noted that there are 3 types of curriculum: the hidden, the written, and the null. The written curriculum is what is taught. The hidden curriculum is a byproduct of the way we teach, which is not written. And the null curriculum is what is not taught at all by teachers. For example, the subject of mental health. This leads us into single stories of whose truth really matters.
Part of the null curriculum and single stories involve white privilege. We find this discomforting to hear because it is not talked about, and white people have always had privilege, but neglect to believe that they do, which is also why treaty education is very hard to teach.
We have discovered that treaties and marriage are very similar in ways such as traditional clothing and exchange of gifts. In order to teach treaties, we need to think about the past, the relationships, the spirit, and the intent of treaties in their historical context. We also need to think about the promises and provisions.
When treaties were created, there were 2 ethnicities involved in order to make an agreement, to share the land and have a relationship. This means that treaties are not just a document, but a relationship with one another that will last forever.
We are all treaty people. When discussing treaties and other topics, we need to know the place in which we are teaching. Where we teach impacts how we learn. For example, why should we only teach about the outdoors and the environment inside 4 walls?
The curriculum also teaches about the types of people that our society creates. There are 3 types of citizenships: the personally responsible, the participatory, and the justice-oriented citizen. Acknowledging these 3 types allows for a child's voice to be heard and to participate in society.
Traditionally, we think of curriculum as creating a goody-goody student, especially when we think of Tyler's rationale. Even though a good student may come out of the curriculum and the way that we teach, we need to remember that experiences that the children have also matter. As important as it is to hit every outcome of the curriculum, it is almost more important that our students are learning, that they are not just regurgitating what we are saying to them. We need to remember that we cannot teach just to the test. Like Joy has told us many times, we need to remember that we teach students, not subjects.
For this reason, when we teach the curriculum, we will assess in more ways than just a test, as we have come to realize that the process is vital. We also hope to be the type of teachers who do discuss what should be taught within the school, even though it is not in the curriculum.
Although white privilege needs to be discussed and taught, we still feel a little bit attacked. But we have come to realize throughout this course that it is not something we need to be ashamed of, but something that needs to be spoken of. We need to remember that as white female teachers, we are represented in most of the resources, and others may not be. We believe that this privilege needs to be given and practiced within schools in order for students to realize their own privilege and the diversity among their peers.
However, we do realize that we have lots of learning left to do. This will also involve reflecting on past knowledge, comparing our past and experiences, and shaping our philosophies. We have also learned lots throughout this class and still wonder, how can we teach the outcomes of treaty education for the grade we are given if the previous teacher has not acknowledged or taught treaty education? ECS 210 has taught us to challenge the way we think about curriculum and the ways we teach in order to become anti-biased teachers.